On the morning of March 18, 1990, security guards at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston found themselves face to face with two police officers who claimed they were investigating a disturbance. Within minutes, the guards were handcuffed in the basement, and the intruders began a leisurely 81-minute shopping spree through the galleries.
Wait, 81 minutes? Most bank robberies are over in like 3. They just hung out with the Rembrandts?
Exactly. They took their time, cutting masterpieces right out of their frames, and walked away with 13 works of art now valued at over $500 million. It remains the largest property crime in history, and more than 30 years later, every single frame remains empty. To understand why this heist feels so personal, you have to understand the woman behind the museum. Isabella Stewart Gardner was an eccentric, wealthy socialite who built a Venetian-style palace in the middle of Boston to house her massive art collection.
I'm guessing she wasn't the type to just leave her front door unlocked.
Far from it, but she was obsessed with her vision. When she died in 1924, her will was ironclad. The collection had to stay exactly as she left it. If a single painting was moved or replaced, the whole museum and its contents would be sold off to Harvard.
So the museum was basically a time capsule. No upgrades allowed?
That was the problem. By 1990, the security was frankly a joke. They employed young, underpaid night watchmen, mostly musicians and art students. On the night of the heist, the man at the desk was Rick Abath, a 23-year-old in a rock band.
Let me guess. Rick wasn't exactly a high-stakes security expert.
Not exactly. At 1:24 a.m., when two men in police uniforms buzzed the side door, Rick broke the most basic rule of the job. He didn't call the police station to verify them. He just saw the uniforms on the camera and buzzed them in.
So the officers get inside, and then what? Do they pull guns?
They didn't even have to. One of the fake cops looked at Rick and said, "I've seen you in the papers. You have a warrant out for your arrest." Rick stepped away from the security desk and the only silent alarm button to prove he was innocent.
He literally walked away from the panic button? That's painful to hear.
It gets worse. They cuffed Rick and the other guard, wrapped duct tape around their eyes and mouths, and chained them to pipes in the basement. Then the thieves headed for the Dutch room. This wasn't a sophisticated operation. They were actually quite brutal. They smashed the glass on a Rembrandt called The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, his only seascape, and used a blade to cut the canvas right out of the frame.
That sounds like a great way to ruin a $100 million painting.
It was amateur hour with high-stakes prizes. They took a Vermeer, another Rembrandt, and a Manet. They even tried to take a massive Rembrandt self-portrait, but found it too heavy to carry, so they just gave up and stole a tiny etching the size of a postage stamp instead.
Did the motion detectors not go off? Surely someone noticed two guys hauling huge canvases through the halls.
The detectors were clicking the whole time, logging their every move, but nobody was watching the monitors. After 81 minutes, the thieves made 2 trips to their car with the loot, went back to the security desk, and took the VHS tapes from the cameras and the paper printouts from the motion sensors.
They were thorough. Did they leave a signature, a note?
Just a parting gift to the guards. They told them, "You'll be hearing from us in about a year." But that call never came. When the morning shift arrived at 8:15 a.m., they found the museum locked, the guards in the basement, and the Dutch room looking like a crime scene out of a nightmare.
Okay, it's been 3 decades. $500 million in art doesn't just evaporate. Where are the paintings?
That is the $10 million question, literally, because that's the current reward for their return. The FBI has chased thousands of leads, mostly focusing on the Boston Mafia and a mobster named Robert the Cook Gentile.
The cook? Did he have the paintings in his kitchen?
The FBI searched his house multiple times. They found a list of the stolen art with black market prices attached, but never the art itself. Gentile died in 2021, taking whatever he knew to the grave. The prevailing theory is that the art became too hot to handle. You can't sell a world-famous Rembrandt on eBay.
So they're sitting in a basement somewhere? Or worse, destroyed?
That's the fear. In the criminal underworld, art like this is often used as collateral for drug deals or as a get-out-of-jail-free card to negotiate with prosecutors. But because the thieves cut the paintings from their frames, the canvases are fragile. Moisture or heat could have ruined them years ago.
And the museum? They just have these big holes on the walls?
This is the most haunting part. Because of Isabella's will, they cannot hang new art in those spots. If you go to the Gardner Museum today, you will see the original heavy gilded frames hanging exactly where they were in 1990, but they are empty. They're placeholders for a return that might never happen.
It's like a ghost story for the art world. What's the one thing to remember about the Gardner heist?
It's the ultimate reminder that the greatest treasures in history can be lost forever due to a single moment of misplaced trust.
That's Wikipedia. Every story, on demand. Search your next topic at wikipedia.ai.